As we know in the second trailer, there are many unsolved mysteries. Because there are two new characters that are shown in this movie, namely the main conflict of this film, namely Yuta and another new person named Gordon. So that you can better understand the discussion that we will review, we will provide important points to review. The first point is who really Yuta and Gordon are. The second point is that Shanks is connected to all of this. The third point, what does the poster on Luffy's and Friends costumes mean? And for the last point, we will conclude the whole point and prediction of the story later. Let's go to the first point, who are the two new characters? We'll start with the character from Yuta in the past. At the beginning of the trailer, we already know that in this film we are presented with a very different story from the previous movie. The reason Oda made this is because he wanted to make something different without losing the fun of the previous movie's theme. And this time, Oda presents a theme about music. Of course, after the second trailer came out, we already knew what profession Yuta was in, namely, she is a very famous diva or singer in the world of One Piece. She is described as a very beautiful girl with red and white to pink hair. From this view, it can be seen that the character of Yuta is very conspicuous, therefore he can become a very famous diva. It is also known in the poster and Toei's Twitter post, we can see that Yuta is not an ordinary diva because she has her own emblem. And usually, if it's like this, the person must have a pirate. For now, it is not known what the meaning of the coat of arms is, for sure he is not just an ordinary singer. Besides that, there is more interesting evidence from Yuta, namely that he wears a strange object in both ears. At first, we thought it was just accessories, but after seeing the trailer we can see that in his childhood he also wore tools like that. So we can conclude that Yuta seems to be deaf, so to cover his shortcomings as a diva he made the object into an accessory. Why do we think so? Because in the real world, a public figure, especially an idol, will definitely cover up all his shortcomings with something, for example, such as plastic surgery. Continuing from the second character, this old man is a new character in this film. Which we know that Gordon has a relationship with Yuta. I don't know what his relationship with Yuta is. One thing is for sure, he will be an important character in this film. One more interesting thing about him is that he is both wearing something strange covering his two ears. Now, these two similarities have strengthened the theory that deaf people are valid. If we see these similarities, it is certain that Gordon is the one who taught Yuta to be the number one diva. He could be the one who directs Yuta's goal to bad things in order to change the world as he wishes. Does the theory sound reasonable or not? If yes, you can comment below. The second point is that Shanks is connected to the conflict in this film. The answer is very clear. How? Not unexpectedly, from the 45-second trailer it was revealed in several scenes that he had a child named Yuta. This was evident from him, who said, "Even though we are separated, you are still my daughter." The question is whether Shanks really have a child? We already know in the main story Shanks' story is not introduced at all about his family, especially since he has a child. But surprisingly in the trailer, we are presented with Shanks having a child. If we look at genetics, it is true that Yuta has a relationship with Shanks, but the question is who is Yuta's mother and where she comes from. As seen after meeting with Yuta, Shanks went back to sea to pursue his goal. And before leaving there, a very mysterious scene was shown, namely at that moment it seemed like a big fire broke out, and at the same moment Yuta was crying hysterically and Shanks stay without a sound being heard, with the figure of a woman being restrained who couldn't be seen. It could be that the one who stopped him was his own mother. It is estimated that the incident occurred before Shanks met Luffy, considering that at that time Shanks was still wearing his straw hat. We suspect after that Shanks arrived at Fuchsia village and happened to meet and give the hat to Luffy. On the other hand, in our opinion, if Shanks really has a biological child, then it is very unethical to introduce it in a movie story that usually ends up being non-canon. Apart from that, if Shanks really has a child, then Oda must have given a little clue several times in the main story, as well as Luffy's devil fruit, which turns out to be a rare zone-type sun god Nika. So we thought that Yuta was not a biological child, but an adopted child. Could be in the village of Yuta, or on the island there is a big problem, so at that moment coincidentally the Akagami pirates immediately saved him, and at the beginning, that was why Shanks was able to meet Yuta. If our theory is correct, then at least it won't interfere with the main story of the manga. Because an important character like Shanks should have his identity revealed in the main story, otherwise many fans will be very disappointed with this anime. Enter the third point, where at this point we conclude interesting information on the poster of the Straw Hat Crew in movie Red. This information does not come from the clothes, but there are writings related to the poster, starting from the sequence of Luffy to Jinbei. Of the 10 posters, if we summarize the writing, it will be like this. Wrong, I won 183 times in a row. Finally, everything got interesting. There's no point in trying to stop our captain. You will never see your family and friends again, and are you okay with that? Don't leave Yuta alone. I heard there's a room full of books there. Maybe there's something about this staff notation? What changes did you make? All I can see now are panties. You guys seem to know a lot about that kid's abilities. Then in the last poster that just came out, Shanks was accompanied by the words "Stay out of this." The important point here is that we find 3 cores of the 11 posters. First, we are given a little clue about the conflict that happened to Yuta. This has been clearly seen from the writing on the poster from Luffy to Nami. In conclusion from their words, we can know that Luffy and his friends are planning to change Yuta's point of view on the problem, which refers to changing the world as he wishes. It is not clear what the purpose is, we only know one piece of information from Shanks' words. Where before leaving him, he advised that in the world there is no equality and peace. This means that we can conclude that the goal of Yuta is actually to create a beautiful world with peace, without any riots with the song. Then on the writing on Chopper and Robin. It's still not clear where the direction is. Our opinion maybe this has to do with a library full of books on music or the like. This is where Yuta will make a big difference with the power of his singing. Continue on Brook and Jinbei's section, possibly explaining the viewpoint's point of view. Later in the film, we'll be presented a party full of revealing clothes. Next to the writing of the Jinbei poster, Oda has explained that the audience or you can guess what the girl's strength is. Of course, we already know that Yuta's ability focuses on his music. And usually as a villain, of course, he is a devil fruit eater who has the power to influence his opponent with the song. It has also been seen that he seems to be issuing a very strong rhythm like Hashoku Haki. Whether it's Hashoku Haki or something else, it certainly still includes the power of the devil fruit. Where's the bass from Min? How can it be like that? Actually, it's clear that the name alone has explained its strength, namely, Yuta is the same as singing. I don't know what the effect is in the song, maybe it can control the opponent, but the opponent to sleep, hypnotize the opponent, or can blow it up like Utakata in the Naruto anime. Here's a little information, the island shown in the teaser has been around for a long time, precisely in EPS 420, when a small child showed the picture to Robin and other friends. Where apart from that picture, we have seen all those pictures come true in the world of One Piece. So, since the first time, Oda has prepared well, maybe before releasing that fact. Because that's why in the small world of One Piece, something is connected later. I don't know if it's normal until it gets to the core of the story. Furthermore, the most important poster in this film is the image of Shanks with the words "Do not interfere." Then what is the meaning of the writing? Of course, you already know a lot about the movements of Shanks, and usually, if he is serious then he will move to do anything. In movie Red later we can find out that Shanks will come out and stop the war. Most likely he will stop the Navy from trying to interfere in the fight with Luffy, because there is a moment where Akainu is very angry and annoyed. Shanks let Luffy do it because he believed he could do it. If our assumptions are correct then the appearance of Shanks in this film will not be much, maybe only a few and only short. Well, hopefully, it won't be like this, because in this film the story should focus on the story of the Akagami pirate.